Here's a rewritten version of your script with smoother pacing, stronger suspense, and more natural storytelling while keeping the same plot. I still remember exactly how I felt that night, confused, anxious, and terrified. My wife, Emily, had been missing for 2 days. She had traveled back to her hometown for a high school reunion, something she'd been looking forward to for weeks. We weren't one of those couples who texted constantly, but Emily always checked in, especially when she was away. At first, nothing seemed unusual. The night she arrived, she sent me a quick message. Asterisk, just got in. Catching up with everyone. Love you. Asterisk. Simple. Normal. I wished her a great time and went on with my evening. The next morning, I texted her. Asterisk, how was the reunion? Asterisk. No response. I assumed she was sleeping late or recovering from a long night with old friends. A few hours later, I sent another message. Still nothing. I called. Straight to voicemail. By that evening, uneasiness had turned into panic. Emily never disappeared without a word. I checked her social media. No updates. I called again. Voicemail. As midnight approached, my imagination ran wild. Maybe she'd lost her phone. Maybe she'd been in an accident. Maybe something much worse had happened. Finally, I couldn't sit still anymore. I packed a bag, grabbed my keys, and was about to begin the 5-hour drive to her hometown when my phone rang. Unknown number. My heart nearly stopped. Hello. A hesitant female voice answered. Is this Jack? Yes. Who is this? There was a brief pause. My name is Claire. I'm one of Emily's friends. I need to talk to you about her. Every muscle in my body tightened. Where is she? Is she okay? Claire took a shaky breath. I don't think so. You need to come here. Now. I didn't ask another question. I got in my car and drove. The highway stretched endlessly through the darkness as my mind raced through every nightmare imaginable. Was she hurt? Had she been kidnapped? Was she even alive? I forced myself not to think about that last possibility. By the time I arrived, it was nearly 5 in the morning. Claire had given me the address of a small motel on the outskirts of town. I parked, hurried to room 214, and knocked. The door opened almost immediately. A tired-looking woman stood there, worry etched across her face. Jack. I nodded. Where's Emily? Instead of answering, Claire handed me a phone. Emily's phone. My stomach dropped. She left it in my car, Claire explained. I've been trying to find her too. I stared at the device in disbelief. When did you last see her? At the reunion. Claire looked uneasy. She was acting strange. Nervous. She kept looking over her shoulder like she was afraid someone was watching her. A chill ran through me. Afraid of who? I don't know. Claire shook her head. She left early. Said she wasn't feeling well. I offered to drive her back to her hotel, but she asked me to drop her off a few blocks away instead. And then? She got out of the car, and that was the last time I saw her. My chest tightened. She never returned to the hotel? Claire shook her head again. The front desk confirmed it. For the next several hours, we called hospitals, police stations, anyone who might know something. Nothing. It was as if Emily had vanished into thin air. Eventually, Claire and I retraced her final known route. The neighborhood where she'd been dropped off was quiet and nearly deserted. I walked the street searching for anything that might help. Then I spotted it. A small cafe with a security camera facing the road. The owner was reluctant to help, but after hearing what happened, he finally agreed to show us the footage. What we saw made my blood run cold. Emily appeared on the screen, walking quickly. She kept glancing behind her. Then a dark sedan pulled up beside her. She stopped. The driver's door opened. A man stepped out. Even through the grainy footage, I could see Emily freeze. She took a step backward. The man lunged toward her. "Pause it," I said. The owner zoomed in. The image was blurry, but it didn't matter. I knew exactly who it was. Ryan. Emily's ex-boyfriend. I'd heard stories about him before. They had dated in high school, and according to Emily, the relationship had been a nightmare. He was controlling, manipulative, and obsessed with her. When she left for college, she cut all ties and never looked back. But whenever his name came up, I noticed the tension in her voice. The fear. I turned to Claire. "Do you know where Ryan lives?" Her expression immediately changed. "Jack. Ryan is dangerous. I don't care." I held her gaze. "Where does he live?" After a long hesitation, she gave me an address. An old house on the edge of town. I drove there immediately. The house looked abandoned from a distance. Overgrown weeds surrounded the property, and most of the windows were dark. But one upstairs room had a light on. I parked down the street and approached quietly. When I looked through the window, my heart nearly stopped. Emily was inside. She was tied to a chair. Tears streaked her face. Ryan stood in front of her, pacing and ranting. I couldn't hear what he was saying, but every time he moved, Emily flinched. That was enough. I kicked the front door open. Ryan spun around. Emily gasped. "Jack!" Ryan charged at me. I met him head-on. We crashed to the floor, struggling violently. Adrenaline took over. I barely felt his punches. I landed a hard shot to his jaw, stunning him long enough for me to break free. I rushed to Emily, untied her hands, and pulled her toward the door. We ran. Neither of us looked back. Minutes later, we were speeding down the highway. Emily sat beside me trembling uncontrollably. Tears streamed down her face. "I thought I'd never see you again." I reached over and squeezed her hand. "You're safe now." The police arrested Ryan later that night. Investigators discovered he had been stalking Emily for weeks. When he learned she was coming back to town, he saw it as an opportunity to force his way back into her life. Thankfully, he failed. Emily's recovery wasn't easy. The trauma stayed with her for a long time. In many ways, it stayed with both of us. Even now, years later, I occasionally wake up in the middle of the night remembering that phone call. Remembering the fear of not knowing where she was. Remembering how close I came to losing her forever. And every time I do, I'm grateful that somehow, against all odds, I got there in time. This version improves tension, emotional impact, and readability while making it sound more like a professional YouTube suspense narration or true crime style story.